Good morning. We will begin the session today. The seminar presentation will be given by Manoj and his group on shell programming. I'll be changing the role. I'll make him as a presenter. Right, Manoj, you are the presenter now. You can go ahead with.
Thank you, sir.
Right, go ahead. Share your screen and go ahead.
Sir, is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, screen is visible. It is getting ready. Everything is dark now. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Screen is being shared, but nothing is visible. Everything is dark. Right. Find out what is that. Quickly be ready.
Okay, sir. 1 minute.
Share the screen.
Sir, now is it visible, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to discuss some of the problems which are regarding to the shell problems. We are not going to discuss any topics. We
And
are directly going to
yeah,
discuss.
enable your video.
Sir, I have some webcam issues, sir. If I enable my video, my VMware will not
Go
work
ahead. Go
properly.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, sorry, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So we will discuss some of the problems regarding to shell programming. Right. First, we will discuss uh, the question which was given to us on our IA, which is 3B. Himarashmi has done it, but I have done it in a different way using for loop. Here we are going to learn a different concept which will be useful for some of our other programs also. So let us see. So this is the loop mapping which I have done so that it will be useful for us while tracing.
Oh, that's good. So this kind of okay, tracing, you use a term, it is called code walkthrough. The tracing, that's very important from testing perspective. That's good, right? Run the program,
Thank you,
show
sir.
it, and then explain the whole code. The code is to be commented also, right?
Sir, value here I have not took any choices or like that, sir. I have just printed both the patterns.
Hmm.
Like I want to show a new concept in this program, sir. So I took this program.
Okay.
So this is the pattern. Like this is right angle triangle. Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is the reverse order of this.
Hmm.
So let me keep all this at one side. Yes, now we will trace the program. Uh, Hello everyone. So this is the program basically which was given to us on our IA2, which was third B. So let us start program. Echo, this echo will tell the user and make the user aware to make him enter the value of n. When he will enter the value of n, that value of n will be stored in this n, small letter n.
Hmm.
So now let's come to the loop mapping. So here I have written counts. Loop count means for the first loop, for the second loop, for the third loop, and for the fourth loop. Let me take n equal to 3. I have assumed n equal to 3 for a sample example. So when we take n equal to 3, when the first loop comes, here we're gonna learn a new.
Ashish, Manoj, Don't say
Yes, sir.
first loop. You say the outer loop or ith loop,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir. I loop first count, and here I have also mentioned jth loop also, sir.
Okay.
Uh, in here we are gonna learn a new word or new keyword called as SEQ. SEQ basically means sequence. Let me first explain you the background of SEQ. SEQ basically means here there are two values. Two values has to be given for SEQ basically. This act as a boundary conditions, these two, and SEQ works in between these two boundary conditions, including the boundary conditions. Like we have entered n equal to 3, right? So from 0 to 3, it will print, it will go in looping while we gonna take loop, it will start from 0 and end to 3. So that's how SEQ works. It will increment by itself by 1, like 0 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, and 3 is the last boundary condition. It will not go beyond 3. So
Manoj,
sequence works
Manoj,
from,
Manoj.
yes,
Okay, this
yes,
program, okay, everyone has to send it to me, whatever they do, along with their name and all, right? You have to put the comments there, right? So when you write a
yes,
program, right, for I in, okay, dollar sequence zero dollar n, what exactly is that?
yes,
You
sir.
put the comment so that people can
Yes, sir.
understand that, right?
No, sir. While presenting, if I put the comment, it will be just like reading, so I not.
Oh,
But while sending you, I will put the
yeah,
comment, sir.
that's a great. That's a great.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Good.
So let us start the loop mapping. So from I equal to for the first loop, the count of I will be 1 because the sequence starts from 0. Okay, so I equal to 0 for the first loop. Okay, now it enters the loop, and next there is another sub loop which is called as J loop. It also has 0. Now what is the value of I? I value is 0, right? 0 to 0. So it will be 0 itself. So for first loop count of j loop, the value of j will be 0. So if the value of j is 0, here we don't have any condition, just print the value of j. So what's the value of j? It's 0. So this 0 is printed here. This is the first loop output. So it reads the done, then it will come for the next loop. When next loop
And
comes,
what is, okay, Manoj, you have to tell about mine eco minus n. What is minus?
echo echo minus n doesn't allow the output to go to the next line. It will print the outputs in the same line, but we have a echo. After this done statement, we have a echo inside I loop. So it will make the cursor point to the next line, so that we will get a definite pattern.
Okay,
So now J loop ends because the boundary conditions are 0 to 0. 0 to 0 is nothing but 0 itself. So next it will go for next I loop. So second I loop, the value of I will be 1 because 0 will be incremented with 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Uh, so the I loop will be 1, right? Next it will come inside. So J starts. J, now what are the boundary conditions? J boundary conditions are 0 to 1. I is 1, right? So 0 to 1 will be the boundary conditions for J. So J will start looping. For the first loop of J, J will be 0 because 0 is there. So J will be 0 and 0 will be printed. This is the first printing of J. So now it will increment. The boundary condition is 1. So 0 plus 1, it will be 1. So after that, 1 will be printed. This is the 1. So in this way, the J loop completes because the boundary conditions are 0 and 1, and again it will read done, and then it will print echo, and it will come, cursor will come to the next line. So next, the third loop, third iteration starts, and for the third iteration, previously I was 1, it will be incremented by 1, so I will be 2. Now when I is equal to 2, J loop starts again with the first. So first J loop, J value will be 0 as usual, and 0 will be printed. For the second J loop, J value is 1 and 1 will be printed, and the boundary conditions are 0 and 2 as I is 2. So I now J for third J loop iteration, 2 will be printed because the last condition, boundary condition is 2. So I have taken 3 as max. Here I have took 4. So that's a, so you don't consider this last line. Let us consider up to this. Okay. Now for I equal to 0 to 3. Now I was 2 previously and it will be 3 now. This is the last looping iteration for I. It will not continue after this because sequence works under boundary conditions, in between boundary condition and including boundary condition. Other than that, it will not work. So for do, now J loop starts and again J starts from 0. For first loop of J, 0 will be printed like this. For second loop of J, 1 will be printed, and for third loop 2 will be printed, and for last, as I is equal to 3, 3 will be printed. So 0 1 2 3. Like this we can use sequence for printing this pattern. Let me tell you the basic advantage that we will get by using this sequence. If we use while loop, we have to increment every time the I. We have to increment I every time. For that, we have to use another expression like I equal to expr of I plus 1. So we can reduce the number of code lines using this sequence. That's the one of the basic advantage of sequence. In the next pattern,
Great.
like this, I will tell you a new. Yes, sir.
That's great. Okay. Now, these are the
Okay,
learning points which people have to do, not only simply writing the programs. Good.
okay, thank you. So in the next pattern, I will tell you another use of sequence. Up to this, we have seen same pattern like zero and dollar and zero, dollar and zero, dollar. Right? We have just seen two parameters, right? Here we have three parameters: dollar n, minus one, and zero. So according to our taken example, dollar n is three, right? So three minus one zero. What just this minus one specifies is whenever 3 in between 3 and 0, the sequence works in the pattern like 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is what? 2. It starts decrementing based on the value which is there on the center. If you give here 2, so the sequence will be like 2, 3 minus 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Next, 1 minus 2. So it is not possible because 1 minus 2 is minus 1, which is not in the boundary condition, right? So that is not possible. In this way, dollar n minus, like now dollar n is 3, right? 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. Now 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 1, which is 0. So we can use sequence keyword for printing different patterns. Like if somebody wants to print numbers from the given, in the given range, we want to print even and odd numbers. So what we can do is we can give the range in the sequence as boundary conditions and increment just by 2. So which will reduce our lots of codes of lines which can be used for printing different kinds of pattern like printing odd numbers, printing even numbers, etc. So in this way sequence will help. So let us map this pattern to yes. So this is the loop mapping. Sir, is it visible right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. Visible, visible, perfectly visible.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you. So I loop starts here. Let me tell you, for every I loop, J loop will be this itself. For every I loop, J will count from value of n. Here I have took 5 from 1 to value of n. It will count for every J loop because it starts from 0 till starts from n value till 0. So for every J loop, it will count from value of n to the last condition. So let us start. I to take I value as 3 itself, it will be too longer. For I equal to 0 for the first loop, for the first count of I will be 0, and J loop starts from dollar $n. Dollar $n is what? 3. 3 minus 1. So first J value will be 3. Okay. Let me take this section. So let us consider n equal to 5 itself. For the first count of I value will be 0 and J loop starts. Let us consider I as 5. So dollar n will be 5. So starting from the 5, if 5 is greater than I, 5 is greater than I, what is the meaning of this? For I is 0, right? And n value is, J value is 5. So 5 is greater than I. It means for this condition, we have to print spaces. I have done here two spaces. one space for what we are giving the space here, and another space in between an element. So I have used two spaces. Then for I equal to 1, it will print up to like uh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 will be not printed for the first loop, and for the second loop 5, 4, 3, 2 will not be printed, only 1 and 0 will be printed using this condition. This is the basic condition for printing this pattern, right? So now at the third loop it will print 5, 4, 3, and 2, 1 will be not printed. Sir, it should be greater than or equal to, sir. Okay. So 5432 will be printed, and at the last 4321 will be printed according to these conditions. So this is how we can use sequence for printing different patterns and for printing different series. So let me take the next problem that we are going to solve.
Greater than or equal to or greater than, just check it.
1 minute.
Check it, run it and check it. It is a
Yes, greater than is correct, sir.
Hmm.
So shall I take next example, sir?
Can you run this program and show?
Yes, sir, sure. So, sir, can you tell the value of n, sir?
3.
So 3 is printed for first
Right.
pattern. This is for
Run
second
it, run
pattern.
it. Again run it. Again run it.
Okay,
Minus 20.
sir. Sir, it will not print anything, sir. I
Huh.
have not placed the case, sir. I have to place the case, sir.
All of you look, all of you look. This is where, right, the validation of the input you collect, you have to do it, right?
Yes,
So
yes, sir,
anything
sure.
that you read, you check that that value is what is required, right? When you write a robust code, what is the meaning of robust code? Robust code is nothing but a strong code, right? What is the strength of the code is that any incorrect input it gets it will inform the user saying that it doesn't work like this, right? So you need to ensure, okay, any value you read, check that the value what you are read is what is required for you, right? Before we stop this program, I would like to tell you very interesting thing today we found. He has introduced one new the concept that is sequence. Second thing is traceability. Okay, we call coding. When you do a coding, you should hand simulate the working of that particular program and try to understand, right? So the third thing, right, is by hand simulation the logic is more important. Syntax is one part. The other part very important for the knowledge is the logic that you use in solving that problem. These two together will make you a solution provider. You should know the syntax. At the same time, you should have the understanding development of a logic to solve the problem. Both he has highlighted properly. The third thing is that code walkthrough or the tracing of the code for the given input. All these three are important. Please focus on this. Right? Manoj, it's a good thing. Now let's get into the next one.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next line is one of the questions that you have asked in the previous year question paper, sir. This is the problem statement. Uh, Write a shell program to read a search string and a file name which are given as the first and second command line argument. So you must be very careful that the first command line argument is the name of the string which you want to search, and the second is the file name in which you want to search. So these are the two arguments, and display whether the search string is present or not in your given file. So I have created a sample file. So here is the sample file. You can go through the words. Hello everyone. Hello, how are you? How are your exams? This is the strings which are present in our file dot test dot text. So let me trace this program. Sir, is this visible or shall I zoom it, sir?
A little zoom it, but it is visible. Little zoom it.
Sir, now, sir?
Okay.
Okay, sir. So let me run this for first time. I will give how as first argument and test.text as second argument. So the string how exists and its occurrence. Occurrence means the frequency of that string, how many times it has occurred in the given file. So string how exists and its occurrence is 2 times. So let us check. See how is here hit the first time and hit second time. So how is there 2 times? So it has printed correctly. So let us trace the program. Okay. So now let's begin the program. Flag equal to 0. This is called as trace variable. This trace variable is very important so that it can give us the number of occurrences of our searched string. So starting from the if condition, I want to show you some flags. Here are some flags which are used to check the existence of file and whether the file is executable or not. Here in this, I have used just -f to check whether the file exists or not. Why? Because if the file, even if the file itself is does not exist, then how can we search a string in that file? So we have to be careful that the file must exist. Only then the string has to be searched. Other
Okay.
than that,
Okay,
string must
Manoj.
not be searched.
Yeah, Manoj, you run your program and
Yes, sir.
give a file, okay, name which doesn't exist. Let's see.
Yes,
These
yes,
are
sir.
all called test cases.
I will give it as test1.txt. My program will show file does not exist.
Look at that. Okay, all this testing, you people have to do it before you submit the code, right? Testing for all possibilities. Okay, the program is working for actual input, correct input. Program, okay, shows error for wrong input, right? And program shows error for something which does not exist, which is supposed to exist. All possibilities. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And in another case, I have given a file which does exist, but I have given a string which does not exist in that file. So let us check. The string code does not exist in the given file.
Okay.
So that is also a case.
These are the three possibilities in which you have to run the program and write the output for such program, and they are all called as a test cases, right? You need to understand possible cases in the given program. Good.
Here also we're going to introduce a new, we know this cat command, but the how efficiently we can use this cat command in our some of the problems which we going to do now. Like let us start the program. If -f $2 implies the second command line argument, that is the name of the file. If this exists, then it will enter this if condition, the statements present in the if condition. Now here also we have used a for loop and the result of this cat. So let me tell you what this cat does. Cat separates each of the string present in the given text file based on the internal pre-separator that I have told in the previous class. IFS plays a very important role in shell programming because without IFS you can't separate any of the arguments. So cat command uh, initializes each of the string to $1, $2, $3 like that. If we use a dollar and use the cat and use the file name, it will insert each of the string in each of the string while using for loop. Like for the first loop, the cat will initialize string with hello. So hello will be checked with the given string. So yes, correct. Hello will be checked with the given string. $1. What is $1? The first command line argument. So the first command line argument is nothing but the string which we want to search. Okay. For the string operations, we can't use -eq. We can use equal to symbols. That must be the key point. So minus EQ must not be used for the comparing string operations. For comparing arithmetic operations, we can use minus EQ. So $1 is the string which we want to search, and string, this is the string which stores the value of each string while looping. So for the first loop, hello will be the value which is given to the string, right? So hello will be tested with, let us take this example, though how. We have given search string as how. So how will be tested with hello? It is not true. Then flag will not increment. So flag will be 0 itself. And it will come to the next loop. For next loop, the value will be how, which is our given string, which is a string which we want to search. So how will be equal to how? Flag will be incremented by 1. So carefully remember the value of flag is 1 now, right? When we go to next statement, for third loop, it will take r as string value. Here string value will be r, and r is compared with how. It is not true, so flag will remain 1 itself. And it will continue for the remaining. For u, it will test u is not true. Even remember that a single comma or a single question mark or a single dot, even it is also considered as a string. So it will check for the comma itself. It will check for comma, it will check for dot, it will check for at the rate, and all the special characters which are present on our keyboard, it will check for that itself. So, and it will also check for how. Next it comes to how, and it how is our search string. So it will increment flag by 1. So flag, now flag will be 2. Okay, now it checks for all the conditions, and then after that the loop will terminate. Why I have put this is, when the flag is not getting incremented even once also, this means that the flag has not entered this if loop if condition itself. If it has not entered the if condition, that means the string we have searched is not at all present in our given file. So this is the main condition to check whether the string that we have searched is present in our given file. So if it is minus equal to 0, then string $1, which is our search string, it is not exist in the file, and else it is the string $1 exists and its occurrence is flag time. So this flag is very important to print the occurrence or the frequency of the search string which is given in the our entered file. Or here the F5, this if condition ends for this statement, or F$2, that means test.text. If it is a file and it exists, it will do all these things. Else it will print file does not exist. So the statement that you are seeing here is because of this else condition. If you won't put this else condition, it will not print anything. It will just be a blank. So this is how the program runs. Let me show you another thing. Here I have used a question mark, right?
Wait. Okay,
Yes, sir.
show the program.
Sir, program code or output, sir?
Code.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Code, right. Now look at that. Here, he has introduced different concepts of learning. One is, right, of course, that's a quite natural syntax. The other one is, right, the tracing of the program. For a given input, manually you have to do the code walkthrough and try to check the logic and all. That's a very important thing. The third thing is, right, test cases and all the concept that he has introduced. Right. One more thing, what Manoj that is required here is use of variables. Right. Flag is not
Yes,
an
sir.
appropriate name which you can use.
Yes, sir.
Flag is
Yes, sir.
only used, okay, exist or not. It is something like a binary, true or false.
Yes, sir.
Okay, something that situation. Right here you can use count, right?
Yes, sir. Sure,
String
sir.
count, string underscore count, right? Or
Yes,
match
yes,
count,
sure.
match match underscore count, right? Every
Yes, sir.
variable should reflect what for it's being used. Please remember that.
Sir, can I use it as trace variable, sir?
Huh?
Or can I use it as trace variable or count variable
No.
like that?
Okay. Name of the variable should tell about the purpose for which that variable is being used. So count,
Okay, sir.
right? okay, search count, or you can say, okay, string count, okay, match
Yes, sir.
count,
Sure.
right? Match
Sure, sir.
count, right? String match count, right? String match count, string underscore match underscore count, right?
Sure, sir.
But it should be at the same time, you have to ensure that the variable name should not be too long also. It should be short, but yet it should, okay, indicate the purpose for which that variable is being created. Right? Are you clear about
Okay.
this?
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
That's a good. All these programs, whatever you have done, please send it to my WhatsApp and email also. Right?
Okay,
Your
sir.
name and
Sure,
all,
sir.
with your name on the top written with the proper comments. Right? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sure. Sure, sir.
Right.
So what I wanted to tell is, here we also have a question mark. So let us check whether it will test for the question mark also, like special characters I have told. So see, string question mark exists and its occurrence is one time. So what the cat command does is it treats everything as a string, not like it will not segregate as integer or it is a special character like that. It will treat everything what you have entered as a string and checks for the given condition. So string question mark exists and its occurrence is one time. So that's how we can search a string in an existing file, and we can test for each of the cases that are mentioned as a question. uh, Next and last program is, this is also a question which was given in the previous question paper from sir. What the program statement tells is, enter a file as a first command line argument and check whether the file exists, and if it exists, whether it has executable permission or not, or whether if the entered file is a directory, print that it is a directory. So this was the question background. So here again we are going to use these flags. So see here, minus f. Here I have used minus f. Minus f specifies to check whether the file exists or not. Here minus x. Minus x checks whether the given file has executable permission for the user, just for the user, not for others. Please remember, it checks only for the user, not for others too. Like others and group, it will not check. This flag is used only to check the executable permission for the user. And minus d specifies whether the first command line argument that we have passed, whether it is a directory or not. If it is a directory, it will print as a directory. So I will not trace this program because this program is very simple. Like my if this minus f, the given file name, it will print file exists. There is nothing looping constraints in this program. If minus x, if this is file exists, then execute. Here another logic is, if the file doesn't exist, it does not have executable permission itself. So minus f, if the file exists, then we have to check whether it is executable or not. If it is executable, print file is executable. Else, print file is not executable. Now, if the file does not exist, then else if. I have used else if. Here, if it is, we have to also check that if the file is not executable, we must not print it like file is not executable. It may be even a directory. So we have to check the condition for directory also. So if it is a directory, print it as a directory. And if it's not a file and not a directory, you have printed some like random things for just to check that whether the programmer has coded it properly or not. Some may give the input uh, wrongly. So we have to print the file or directory does not exist. We have to specify the file or directory. Both does not exist. It is a trash that we have entered. So in this way, this program works. I will show you outputs for all the constraints that I have mentioned. Okay, sorry. The command line argument that I will give is test.text. Okay. The file exists and is not executable. So let me do ls minus l text. Okay. So we don't have execute permission here. See, so it has printed the file is not executable. So let me change the access permission. So we are giving the executable permission for test.txt. So let me do the same thing now. See, the file exists and is executable. So for the our first constraint, we have done it correctly. Let me add a file which is not even this test.1 is not a directory and it is not a file also. So file or directory does not exist. So next case is I will name a directory which I have created here. Let me show you. Here is the sample directory which I have created to illustrate this program. So sample. Sample is a directory. So we have printed all our constraints. File exists, file is executable, and file or directory. And note the thing that directories does not have read write execute permissions because they just are used to store the given files. That's it. Directories does not have any read write execute permissions. And if we enter a directory name, it should show us that the entered name is a directory. So that's all. And another basic thing I want to show is the basic difference between the compiler and the interpreter. That's very interesting. Like, see, interpreter is a thing which executes step by step. Like, if this step is correct, the output for this step will be showed on the screen. If this step is not correct, it will show the error for this. And next step, it executes. And next step is correct, it will show. Like that, it will go. Let me show you here.
Manoj, look into that.
Yes,
Okay, our
yes, sir.
student, see here, the very interesting thing is showing, you should have known by this time. What is that is, right? Now assume that you are written 4 lines, right? Fourth line, there is an error,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Now, in case of interpreter, what happens? First line, second line, third line, it executes. Fourth line, while executing that one, it will show that there is an error. But in case of compiler, what
Yes, sir.
happens is that it will compile the entire thing. If any error is there, it doesn't execute anything at all. So, interpreter will take line by line, every syntax by syntax, executes that if everything is okay. Okay, it doesn't happen in case of compilers. That's what Manoj wanted to tell you. Okay, go ahead, Manoj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So here see only fourth line is error, right? Every other things will be printed as usual. Only it will show error for the fourth line. That's what the interpreter is. See, it has shown an error for fourth line, but it has also printed file is executable. So this is the I won't say it is a problem, but it is not a good thing that showing only one error and executing remaining things. So interpreter works in this way. It will check for each line and print this line at that moment itself. So this is what I wanted to convey for today, sir.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a great, right? That's a
Sir,
great.
Varun Naik is there, sir. He will also present, sir. Can I share his PDF, sir, so that he can present?
Right. So you send all this program, both PDF as well as original, to my email ID,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
upkulkarni@yahoo.com, and also WhatsApp. It is true with Himarashmi and Kirti yesterday what they have done, right?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Please send it today, all of you. Himarashmi, are you online here?
Yes, sir.
Right. Look at that very interesting thing that we are doing it. If all students, if they develop like this, a self-learning drive, right, own it, drive it, okay, understand it, and then solve the problems or any new problem given. Histogram is pending still. Got it? right? Yesterday, Imarashmi called me. I was busy with some other thing. I did not pick a call. I do understand. But you people develop it. Given any such program, right? Can you create a solution, right? So that solution creating ability by knowing the syntax and other thing is most important thing. Okay. Now who is doing that now? Varun.
Sir, Varun Nayak, sir.
Varun. What is his surname?
Nayak, sir.
Naik. Okay. Varun Naik. Go ahead. Show the program. Let him add the audio for that.
Sir, is this PDF visible, sir?
Screen is dark, nothing is visible.
Okay, sir. Wait 1 minute.
Good morning, sir. This is Varun Nayak. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes.
Sir, now is it visible?
It's visible now.
Okay, sir. Sure. So he will continue, sir.
Hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Shall I? Yes, sir. So in my I am discussing topics while loops in shell programming and its basic syntaxes and some basic problems,
Okay.
and for loops its syntaxes and some basic problems in shell programming.
Okay.
So let us start with while loops. The syntax for while loop goes like this. First, we'll give while, then we'll use square brackets and define any condition inside it. Now, whenever the condition inside these brackets are true, then only it will go further into the do command, into the do statement which I have used. So inside the do, we have given some commands, command 1, command 2, command 3. These commands are executed repeatedly whenever the condition inside the while is true. When it becomes false, it comes out of the loop. It will be executed only until when it is true for the condition. And after that, we write then this ends the while loop. So this is the basic syntax for while loop. Now let us take a sample problem. It is like this. Write a shell program to print even numbers in the given range of numbers using while loops. So first here we give echo, give first number, that is first number of the range, and store it in A, that is by read A, by using read A. So the first number of the range will be stored in A. Similarly, echo gives second number, and again we will read B, so that now the second or the last boundary condition of the range is stored in B. Now, echo even numbers in the given range are, now we use while $A is less than $B. That is, whenever the value of A is less than value of B, then, only then it will execute. It will enter the do, or else it won't enter. So inside do we have reminder, that is we'll check whether it is an even number or odd number. Since we have to print even numbers in the given range, we'll check whether the given.
Varun,
Yes,
session
sir.
is getting closed in next 2-3 minutes. Continue. Once it
Okay, sir.
closes, again we'll come back to join the same session and you can continue wherever you are stopped. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So here reminder is equal to dollar, which is value of dollar represents the value of $A mod 2. We have seen this mod function. It gives the remainder of the two operands. So if the A is even, then the resultant of remainder will be 0, and 1 for if A is odd. So now we get here only two values for remainder, which is 0 or 1. So now it will enter to the if statement if the remainder is equal to 0. Here we have used minus eq flag, which is operator, which shows that if remainder is equal to 0, that is the number given is even, then we have to print that number using echo $A, and then fi, which is end of if statement, and then a is equal to dollar double brackets $A plus 1, which is basic increment function, which increments the value of a by 1. So again it enters the loop, again it enters the while loop, and again it checks whether it is less than the B. So if it is less than B, again it checks whether it is an even number or odd number, and again it prints. If it is even number, it prints. We can also do this for printing odd numbers. Just we have to do is remainder is equal to 1, so that in every odd numbers, when we use operator, when we use mod operator for 2, we will get 1 if it is an odd number as a result. So to print odd numbers, we have to just change it as if statement. In place of 0, we have to just replace it by 1, so that it prints a dollar. It prints the odd numbers in the given range. So I have put the sample output also of this function. So I have took two numbers. It will also include the boundary conditions. If I give 4, which is an even number, it will also print from 4. So I have given, in this case, I have given 5 as the first number and 21 as the second number. So it prints like this. Even numbers in the given range are 6, 8, 10, 12 up to 20. So it only prints the even numbers. To only print the odd numbers, as I have said earlier, in the if statement, we have to just put 1 instead of 0. So it will print odd numbers. So,
Okay. I
yes.
think
Sir?
we will take a break now, right?
Okay.
After
Okay, sir.
5 minutes, we will join. It is 8:50 now, right? Sharp 8:55 or 9 o'clock sharp we will join. Sharp 9 o'clock will join, right?
Okay, sir.
Session is getting closed now, right? Okay. I'll close the meeting. I'll end the meeting for all.